Most men misunderstand leadership. They think leadership is position. They think it's status. They think it's control. But it isn't. Authority doesn't come from being in charge. It comes from being responsible. And most men avoid that responsibility, and they do that because it requires emotional discipline, not ego. So, what actually is leadership? Leadership isn't directing tasks, it is regulating people. A man is not leading when he gives orders, he's leading when the people around him feel stable, clear, and capable under pressure. When men fixate on status, they abandon their real function. They start protecting their image instead of carrying the weight. That is how managers are created, not leaders. So most men tend to make a common failure when it comes to this transition. Early in life, a man is rewarded for competence. If you do your job well, if you perform, if you execute, you're rewarded. And if you perform better than your peers, you get promoted. Now, here's the problem with that. Skill gets you promoted, but skill does not prepare you to lead. At some point, a man must make a transition from being responsible for the task to being responsible for the people doing the task. Most men never make that shift. They continue doing the job instead of developing the people. They micromanage because they trust themselves more than they trust others. Now, this is not leadership. This is insecurity wearing authority. So why do most men avoid real leadership? The truth is, leadership is not convenient. It costs something. And a disciplined man understands this. When things go well, he gives the credit away. When things go wrong, he absorbs all the responsibility. He stays late to teach instead of blaming. He applies pressure upward, not downward. He creates calm instead of chaos when things break. That is why most men don't want leadership. Not because they can't lead, but because they don't want the burden. Now, here's the thing. Responsibility does actually create performance. Here's a principle that men need to understand. You're not responsible for results. You're responsible for the people who produce the results. Men who obsess over outcomes tighten control. Men who understand psychology strengthen the environment. And people perform better when they feel supported, not surveilled. When leadership is present, effort increases without force. When leadership is absent, compliance replaces commitment. So the truth is that environments can shape behavior. And the same man behaves differently in different environments, not because his character changes, but because the pressure does. In one environment, people stay invisible, avoid mistakes, and do the minimum. In another, they engage, contribute, and take pride in their work. The difference isn't talent, it is leadership behavior. Men reveal themselves where they feel safe to be seen. One thing to be aware of is something that can kill trust really quickly. And nothing destroys trust faster than fear. Fear of being replaced, fear of being blamed, fear of being exposed. When men lead through threats, either spoken or implied, people shrink. They stop taking initiative, they stop admitting mistakes, they stop telling the truth. A fearful environment does not produce excellence. It produces survival behavior. So, piggybacking off of that, I want to talk about empathy. And empathy is not softness, rather, it's awareness. It is understanding that performance does not exist in a vacuum. A disciplined man does not ignore results, but he does not reduce people to the numbers. When performance drops, weak leaders apply pressure. Strong leaders apply curiosity. They ask, what changed? They look for friction. They remove obstacles instead of escalating threats. So empathy isn't indulgence, rather it's a type of emotional intelligence. Another important thing is psychological safety and the distinction from psychological safety and comfort. A lot of men confuse safety with weakness. Psychological safety does not mean lowered standards. It means clear expectations and stable leadership. It means people have the confidence to say, I don't know, or to speak up when they make a mistake, or to reach out and ask for help when they need help without the fear of punishment. When men feel safe to tell the truth, problems surface early. When they don't, problems compound silently. Strong cultures do not hide errors, they correct them fast. So here's the reason why most systems fail. Modern systems reward appearance over stability. They talk about confidence while punishing honesty. They demand accountability while avoiding responsibility. And then they wonder why men disengage. You can't demand vulnerability while threatening security, and you can't demand initiative while punishing mistakes. Men respond to consistency, not slogans. So, building on all of this, here's the disciplined man's role. A disciplined man creates order by being stable himself. He does not outsource pressure. He does not leak anxiety downward. He does not lead from ego. He understands this. Leadership is not being admired, it's being relied upon. And the man who can carry that weight quietly, consistently, and without needing validation is the man that others follow naturally. Not because they demand authority, but because they embody it. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what topics you'd like me to cover, and I'll see you in the next one.